Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of the Barely Bookish podcast. So if you have not finished the Rebecca book, please finish it before you start this episode because there's going to be immediate spoilers for the rest of the book. So please make sure you do that just because I got too excited. So we will not be finishing the book this episode, but the majority of the book is known at this point. So please make sure you finish it. That way you just don't get any spoilers that you don't want to have. Also coming up for this Friday, we will be having the Rebecca movie over on Patreon for our monthly Patreon exclusive. So that movie will be the Alfred Hitchcock movie. And then there should be another little surprise later this month. So please check out the Patreon and consider subscribing. It really helps support this podcast. But if you can't do the Patreon right now, please consider sharing this podcast with a friend. It's so helpful. But in terms of December recommendations, I hope you guys are reading something fun. I usually don't do mood readings, but this month I'm reading Pride and Prejudice and Mistletoe, and let me tell you, I am kind of obsessed. It is very good. It's big Hallmark vibes, and I know there's a Hallmark movie, so I'm very excited to watch that. But now I'm kind of wanting like winter books, which I've never wanted before, but that's a lot of fun. Also, I did just finish These Hollow Vows, which I really loved. I thought it was really well done. Was not expecting to really like it all that much, but I thought it was really good, and now I'm very excited to read the next book whenever it comes out. Hopefully soon. I know it comes out like next year, but I'm trying to manifest that it'll come out sooner. But yeah, without further ado, let's get in the episode and, talk about Rebecca. So before I even get into introducing anybody or any introductions, all I have to say is I was right. I was right. And I just need that to be on record right here at the beginning, because I had been saying this since the very first recording that this man murdered Rebecca.
As soon as I read that, I was like, oh my god, Rachel's going to be so happy.
I was like, the funny thing is I filmed a TikTok before I said anything. And I was like, I predict that he actually killed his first wife. And not even 3 chapters after I recorded that TikTok, he was like, yeah, I did kill her. And I was like, I knew it. I knew it.
I was just so relieved. I don't have to pretend.
I know.
Like I don't know anymore.
Yeah. And now I like him more. I don't know why.
I stand by. I always liked him. It's all right.
But I wanted that for the cold opening because I was so happy when I read that. I was like, I feel like I'm not a monster now. I was correct. I knew it, and I just needed that on record.
Yes, you did it. Okay. But to be fair, Jen is really bad at guessing stuff.
I am. I suck. I'm the worst at guessing stuff.
I'm gonna not lie to you though here. I would have felt really bad if at the end of it, it was just a really traumatic death for him, and he just doesn't want to talk about it, and the mention of her name brings him to tears so much that he just gets upset.
Yeah. Then you really would be a monster.
But I would feel like a horrible person. So I feel better that I was correct.
Yep.
Anyways, hello everyone and welcome to the Barely Bookish podcast. Today we are going to be talking about Rebecca, the 2 lovely co-hosts of the Best Book Club podcast.
Hi.
Hello.
I am just excited that we're finally getting to this real serious action. I was before this, I was like, okay, this is not a bad read, but I'm not sure why you love this so much. And then we got to this part and I was like, oh, yes,
this is perfect. It.
I am known for enjoying slow, boring books, though.
Yeah. So if it just kept on going on and nothing happened, it would also not be a surprise.
I mean, can't you just like love that sometimes? Like those good like slice of lives. Once in a while, I'm like, oh, nice. Like
this book feels so good on my brain to read.
mm-hmm.
The atmosphere is just so ridiculously potent that
Mm-hmm.
I rereading it, I'm just absorbing it. I'm like, oh, that's right. I love this book.
Yeah.
Plus, it's written in 1938, but feels very much like it's written now. Like, it feels way more modern.
There's nothing tricky about the language.
See,
Yeah.
every time I read it though, I don't know. I think I just keep throwing them in the past because I'm so used to like reading like classic literature that whenever I think it's because of the fact that it's an estate. If it wasn't an estate and it was like just like a normal single family home, I don't think I would do this nearly as much. But like anytime the word estate comes in, they're in 1800s and then they're like, oh, you know, they're replacing the bulbs outside. I'm like, bulbs?
There's no bulbs in 1800.
I was like, excuse me. That's not how that works. Wrong wording, but okay. So, anyways, we are starting on chapter 16. And, like, it just kind of throws you in with the fact that our main character does not like people. And I love that for her. I really do. Because she's like, ugh, there's a visitors coming. No one's expecting them, but here they are. We wanted to hide, but we didn't have time. What a mood.
Which, fair enough.
I love the part when they all leave. She's like, oh, and the relief when they leave. Does everybody feel this? It's like,
yes.
I mean, yeah.
You know, like when your parents had friends over when you're a kid and you like don't really want to come out of your room, but you feel like you kind of have to. And you're like, wow. Same vibe.
Yeah. Yeah.
So our main character kind of struggles with everything, including making tea. Which honestly kind of a mood because if it doesn't come in a little tea packet, no one's getting it. It's not happening.
Right.
Like, how do you even do that? Loose leaf? What that? No. I recently found out that you're supposed to like boil tea at different temperatures to get it to do different things and taste better.
Yeah.
That won't happen. You get hot.
Yeah. I own a coffee shop and it's kind of the same with coffee, but even me for that. No. Just boiling it. It's okay.
You can get like kettles that will do, you're like, oh, I'm going to do a green tea. And then it'll take it to exactly the green tea temperature. I don't have one, but that would be the only case in which I might actually do that.
Mm-hmm. I wanted an electric kettle, but now I'm in such a small apartment that the only way I'm gonna ever make tea is just by boiling water in a microwave because I don't have anywhere to store anything. My bookshelf is also a spice cabinet, so
yeah. Oh, we should keep the spices with like erotic novels. And that can be your spicy shelf.
Oh wait, I love that. Oh my, wait, no, I'm gonna do that. Like I love that. I will be like just sharing this audio anytime someone asks me about it. I will keep it on my phone as like a voice memo so that everyone knows. Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah, love that. Perfect. Because right now it's just we have a lot of spices because my boyfriend loves cooking and he is a spice master. And so this is going to be perfect. This is going to be great.
Okay. Oh my god.
So thank goodness Frank is at this party, or not party. I guess it's like a small social gathering, but he is playing the part of host very well because our main girl cannot do anything. And like, I mean, she was kind of thrown into this, so it's really not her fault because if you've never been a host for like fancy rich people, how would you know what to do? That's got to be stressful. I wouldn't want to do it.
No thanks. Plus Frank's getting paid, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. I don't know what his job title is.
Still don't know, but
he seems like he's doing great.
He's a very good friend.
Yeah. It's like a good friend that like just pays you to be alive, and I want that job. So if you're rich and you want a friend to just, you know, pay for, I am sounding like I'm asking to be a sugar baby. I retract this statement.
Can you just be a sugar friend? Is
Yeah,
that
sugar friend. Can I be I don't know. Will someone be my glucose guardian and just take care of me, please? I want to just be paid to be being alive, and that's my run request. Thank you. So it turns out that the guest is Lady Crowan, and that's a name. But she's the one who brought up the ball, and apparently that's very taboo. So once again, she decides to bring it up, and she's like, hey, throw this fun big ball. And I just like the idea that you have a guest come over to your house and they demand that you do other things.
I think that was the whole point. I think she got this group together, said we're
Mhm.
going to blindside them, show up at their house, make them make us tea,
Uh-huh.
and then we're going to make them throw a ball. God, it had to cost so much money.
Yeah. Like, it's like, this is to me on the same wavelength as inviting yourself to dinner when people are like, oh, I'm going to go grab food. And then they're like, oh, I'll come. And you're like, I didn't realize that I was inviting you, but okay.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Same vibe. Like, she is definitely just twisting their hand in this moment.
Yeah, it was so pushy and awkward, and I felt very uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I just thought about sending out to another city to have a dress made. That would cost, and then, you guys, I'm so cheap.
Mm-hmm.
There is no way. There would have been paper cups at this thing if I had thrown it. But
I am so cheap. I want you to realize that even in high school, a military ball homecoming dress for me never cost more than $50.
$20 on sale, Mariposa.
Most of mine were about 20 at Ross, and then I got for my senior military ball, I spent like 48 on a really cute dress I liked. So
Big spender.
I know, I was like, all right, I'll, really go out on this one.
Splurge.
Yeah.
God no. I would, if I was rich, I would definitely be sending out to London for my dress.
I want to think that, like, if I was rich, I still would have no concept of like having money. Like, I was so broke for so long that even right now I have a little bit of extra money. I'm like, what do I like? I don't ever use it, and so I'm just like, well, I have like a great savings account, but I just, I could have probably afforded to go and get takeout, but my brain says no, 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 it cannot afford.
My husband, I'll be like, we have no money. He's like, we have this in the account. I was like, no, that's invisible money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Don't
that's
even-
not yours.
Don't even look at that money.
Well, it's like I also tricked myself into, like, as my serving cash money, I have it for rent. So, like, even cash money is real money, because usually most people, cash money is fake money. If your account doesn't go down, you simply did not spend money.
Yeah.
And yeah, apparently I really just tricked myself out of that one. So
My brain could not get over. I'm like, oh my God, just go to Rebecca's closet. She has so much stuff.
Right.
Nobody's
yeah.
going to know.
yeah,
I mean, I guess it's all specially made to her ridiculous figure. But whatever. Oh,
Mrs. Danvers would have known.
she would have known. And actually, maybe everybody would have known. As we will see.
As
soon.
everyone did know.
Yep. So as soon as the ball is brought up, our main character just retreats even further into herself. Like, at this point, she's like, what is that? Convexed?
I don't know.
I can't remember which one's in and which one's out. Anyways, doesn't matter. She is just like fully at this point hollow. She is like all the way inside herself. And she's like, Maxim's gonna be mad. I don't want to have this conversation. She's trying to figure out ways to get out of it. And I feel really bad for her because she's just like an anxious little bean.
Yeah.
She really is.
Yeah. So Maxim says that he hasn't even thought about the ball and that they'd have to ask Frank because Frank would have to do all the planning. Which, like, Frank, what a guy.
Yeah. So that's obviously not a lawyer.
So
Or a
he's said to be a bachelor. And I watched a video the other day that said in older things, bachelors were actually gay men. So,
Okay.
yes. So that is, once I started thinking that when I was reading it, because you weren't allowed to be gay. So they just say with spinsters tended to be just a way of not saying why these women were single and old and didn't have children. But so
Interesting.
once I started looking at it like that, I was like, oh, okay, well maybe he's
Totally
just
makes
as
sense
old.
that they'll put the
Yeah.
party planning on the gay guy.
Listen, I love that for Frank.
Yeah. And also
Love
why
that
he
for
didn't
him.
take up Rebecca. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I will have a lot more to talk about when we get to the Rebecca parts, okay? But like,
Yes.
oh. So now they start harassing the main character to get her to approve the party and talk Maxim into it. And I'm like, you're talking to the wrong girl, okay? Like, she is not on any of your sides right now. She does not want this to happen. She doesn't even want to be having this conversation. And they're like, maybe if we just bully her into it, she'll do it.
And it
It worked.
works.
Yeah, it worked. So they decide to have this party in honor of the main character because she's the bride, even though they're already married, but whatever. And she's literally fully says that she's like, why are we doing this when we didn't even have a traditional wedding? Like, this doesn't make any sense. I kind of like, okay, girl, I see you, but also relax.
Mhm.
So the main character decides to keep her dress choice a secret. And at the time I said, this is fun. It's not fun. It quickly changed to not being
Oof.
fun.
It was I very much knew that it was not going to be fun.
Yeah. I was like, at first I was like, oh, that's kind of cute. And then like the more they talked about it, I'm like, this is not going to end well.
Yeah.
This
Well, at
is-
first she's just so excited about it that I was like,
Mhm.
oh, you're going to be let down.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Mrs. Danvers comes in, I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
No.
The first time she actually does a thing,
Mm-hmm.
it goes like that. This is one of my favorite parts of the book because it is so ridiculously
So-
cruel.
It's so
Yeah,
bad.
it's so bad.
Ugh.
It hurt
It's
me.
my style. Yeah. Oh, it like physically hurts.
The cringe.
Oh.
Oh. So, yeah. The main character is just like talking about how she's getting tired of Maxim treating her like a child. And then she like starts, as she's like leaving this entire situation, all the guests are gone. She starts crying because she thinks Maxim is missing Rebecca, which, like, looking back on it, oof. So, our main character is also hiding from Mrs. Danvers, which is an entire mood because I hate that woman.
Completely.
So hard.
Trash bag, an absolute trash bag. And then we're kind of like flash forward, like just speeding up this timeline, and our main character does not know what she's gonna wear to the costume ball, and she's still trying to figure it out. But like, my favorite thing is like she's not really coming up with any ideas at all, and like, how hard is it to get a Halloween costume?
Right.
And then she ends up wearing a blue dress. Your husband said 100 times, be Alice in Wonderland. All you need is a black hair ribbon. You're
Yeah.
done.
You're done.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mrs. Danvers gave her the advice, and like, we all knew this was not gonna go well. It just, no.
Oh,
And
don't
then,
listen
like,
to Mrs. Danvers.
okay,
She
the thing-
hates you.
Yeah, the thing that bothers me is Mrs. Danvers gives her advice for her to dress up like Max's cousin. That's gross, okay? I don't what? Why? First of all, okay, I have a big thing with couples costumes in which I hate couples costumes that are like one's a deer and one's a hunter. Ugh.
Right. Yeah,
Like,
that's
or like
that's problematic.
That's a bad one.
Yeah.
yeah, or like one's Ash and one's Pikachu. Ugh. I don't like things that like imply bestiality and
Okay.
or like incest. So like that implies incest and I don't like it at all. I don't like it. I mean, I'm sure people look cute, but I'm just not the fan.
It's not the worst cousin thing that happens in this book.
It's
So-
not.
This
And
is
that's
true.
the worst part. That is the worst part. Because when we get to that part, I was like, maybe I'm wrong.
I'm gonna go back and read this paragraph
Yeah.
again.
I was like, let me just
Oh no.
Oh.
Yep,
no.
that's what happened. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Ugh.
So No, I was just when she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna dress up as Max's cousin." I'm like, rethink that, please. It's a terrible idea. Um, I hate that. Thank you. Also, while we're on this topic, because I'm assuming all the listeners out here have read through the book. Yeah. When now I'm thinking about the fact that, like, Rebecca is sleeping with her cousin. Did she purposely dress up as a joke to be his cousin because she was sleeping with her cousin?
She was a horrible bitch.
Yeah,
So it's
she's the
possible.
worst.
Mm-hmm.
Ew.
Ew.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah.
Or maybe she just really likes the cousin thing. I don't know.
Okay. No, I hate this. I hate this so much. So I love the main character's ability to make up stories about things that aren't happening, but she's like 100% convinced are happening. And they're so detailed. Like, I kind of love it. But
I
like,
forget it's not happening.
yeah, me too. Like, in the world building sense, I'm like, oh, this is definitely happening. And then I'm like, wait, our narrator is unreliable and has extreme anxiety. This is probably not happening.
See, it annoys me to read these parts because I just want to know what's happening, not what
Mhm.
she's just like imagining in her head. But at the same time, I kind of do the same thing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I get it, I guess.
It's
feel like
fair.
in my head, I always go for like a general vibe of what I think people are thinking, but like she's like got exact phrasing where they're sitting and what they're thinking about, what they're gonna do for the rest of their day, and I'm like, okay, a bit much for me, but all right. Apparently, while the main character had these thoughts about how like Rebecca and Maxim used to act together, she was like fully acting them out and trying to figure out what. And then like Max was like, "What are you even doing? What are you thinking about? What's happening?" And like, one, I have done this, but like when I was reading a book, so like that's a vibe. I get
Yeah.
it.
I have walked around having an argument and then realized, like, oh crap, people are here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So like,
It
I
was
think we're all
hilarious.
guilty.
My
Yeah.
favorite is when I'm driving and I see somebody definitely doing it down the street.
Mhm.
I'm like,
I
now we can all pretend like we're on the phone. So it's
I know I had AirPods in and I was at the gym listening to an audiobook and I caught myself being like, "Oh my god." And then I was like, like that looks weird."
I drive a Zamboni for my job
Mhm.
and I've done like big games and I'm
Mhm.
listening to an audiobook. Once I was bawling. Zamboni driver's just and all the time I'll be listening to something funny and I'm just laughing like a maniac driving this huge machine. I do not care. uh,
How is driving a Zamboni? I kind of wanted to do that at some point. Like, I just think that's fun.
it's the best. It's actually the best job.
Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah. Just because, like, I don't know, there's something aesthetically pleasing about like just clean ice.
Mhm.
It's great. It's big. It's loud. It's kind of like patting your head and rubbing your belly.
Mhm.
But once you know what the hell you're doing, it's great.
Do you
And
have?
I run really hot, so like
Mhm.
I'm always warm. So being in an arena is perfect for
Yeah.
me.
Do you have those 3M work headphones?
I don't wear them except for when they started saying that I wasn't allowed to wear earbuds. And I was like, oh, good luck seeing them now.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah,
never do that.
my friend has them because they do like house contracting or whatever. And I tried them on and I was like, oh dog, I'm gonna have to get a pair of these.
Yeah.
Like noise canceling, like no other. It's beautiful. Love that. Just imagine editing, I'd hear everything.
Yeah.
No dogs barking on this podcast, so I'll catch it.
No babies crying.
So, anyways, Maxim looks at, our main character having all this like conversation on her face and it was like, hey, I'm not gonna lie to you, the facial expression you just made gave me some real bad vibes. And she was like, oh, what did I do? And he's like, you looked like you were lying to me and like you were super deceitful and sneaky and I did not vibe with it.
He said something like, "It looked like you have knowledge you're not supposed to have," or something weird like that. And I was like, that's a weird thing to say.
Makes sense now.
Yeah.
I love it because it's like the whole place is possessed and like tainted with Rebecca,
Mm-hmm.
and that was like an actual little possession and
Mm-hmm.
spooky.
Yeah.
I loved that. And also, like, it finally gave me like a little insight into Maxim. And like, I was at the moment when I read that, I thought it was just like Maxim not liking the idea of her being like more knowledgeable. And like, listen, I
Mhm.
thought at that point, I was like, Maxim's a perv. Okay, like, I don't trust this man. I think he likes her because she's young, and that's gross. But like, now I'm like, okay, all right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, the opinion changes once you get that drop. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, that makes way more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's better.
I'm like, okay, I don't really hate you now. Like, you're fine. It's cool, dog. We're cool.
Which I just like to say, I think this means that I was right. He's not a total ass. Because I was doubting myself the last episode. I was like, oh my God, I'm psycho. Something must be wrong with me. And I was like, no, I think he's good. I think he's all right. And then I realized that one of the reasons why I think that is because all the little weird things he does
Mm-hmm.
is what I would do. I relate to him. So when you're like, oh, he doesn't love her. He doesn't. I'm like, what are you talking about? Look at all these little ways he's showing love.
Listen, I'm a big sap for words of affirmation.
But I don't know that he's not. It's like, I mean, he did kill.
Yeah, but
Oh,
she was horrible.
She was
She's
horrible.
so bad.
Listen,
I mean, I don't want to say
well-
someone deserves to be shot and killed, but like,
yeah,
I don't blame him.
I don't blame him either. Like, I mean, I get it. Also, I fully support him in this moment, but like, I also support toxic bookmen. Okay, I don't know.
that's
It's
true.
something about it, you know. It's like, oh, they'd kill for me. How cute. How romantic. But like, I get it. Like, he was fully right in this moment.
Yep.
She was garbage, and I'm glad she's not there anymore.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, I'm so bad at talking about everything that's like chapters away from where we're at.
It's fine.
But
It's what it is, and we're gonna do it, so it's fine. It's too big of a reveal, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyways, back to where we were at. This is when I started getting nervous as soon as Mrs. Danvers was like, hey, how about you dress like this? Like, in that moment, I was like, oh, we're going south. Things are not going well. Smack the help button. And like, Mrs. Danvers had never been nice to her. And in that moment, she's like, oh yeah, she's actually finally warming up to me. I'm like, no, she's not. No. What?
I feel like she was also described as having like an evil like grin or something. I kind of pictured like the Grinch, you know?
yeah.
I just was like, are you serious right now? Like, do not trust her at all. What? Why would you do that?
Yeah. Such a bad call.
And also just a bad costume choice. I don't care.
Whatever Mrs. Danvers says, do the opposite.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So good. Oh, sorry. What?
No, just it's like they suck at costumes, but then I think about how racist everyone else's costumes were. It's just like, ugh.
Yeah, I know. I was like, well,
Yeah, they were so bad.
like blackface, all of it. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
The Chinese man with the fingernails, like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
Yes, I think maybe she did pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, at least it wasn't racist, I guess. Like, I think our like, scale of good to bad is a little skewed on this moment.
That's true.
Yeah.
Like, at this point, Maxim's the only real winner here.
Frank in his pirate costume.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure.
I think Frank might be the hero of this book.
Yeah.
I think
Frank
so.
understood the assignment. Okay. So the only good thing is that no one is going to be spending the night at this party except Beatrice and Giles, which, like, apparently everyone used to spend the night. Like, good that they're not drinking and driving.
That also sounds horrible.
It sounds terrible. She's like, yeah, people would like sleep on the sofas and on the floor.
Aren't you guys rich? You don't sleep on the floor, on the sofas. Yeah. Like, I don't know. That's not what I would picture.
I got the vibe that they were passing out after drinking.
This party wrapped up at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If anybody said this party will be over at 5 a.m., I'd say, cool, I'm not coming.
Yeah, exactly.
When I was a kid, we used to do New Year's Eve to day parties. When I was a young child, and they would last so long that my dad would cook breakfast in the morning.
Ugh.
Oh,
Ugh, makes me actually want to like puke a little bit.
that makes me want to have a sleep.
Or like sometimes like when everyone was like the kids were growing up and stuff like that, they would everyone would go to sleep for a few hours, and then my dad would do brunch. Like it was a neighborhood party, so everyone would go to their respective homes and then come to our home and the day of and do like football and brunch. So
What kind of kids are these anyways?
I was
Mine,
like,
it's the 2 minutes past bedtime and they're screaming, crying,
well, all of the
falling
kids
down.
go and sleep in some kid's room. So basically, it's like all the parents are partying, and then like the kids
Okay.
go to like all of the kids were around the same age. So we all just went into like different bedrooms of like whoever's house we were at and
Yeah.
slept on the floor or whatever.
All right, that makes more sense.
Yeah. Like I have distinct memories of like one year, like we had the party at our house, and like there was like 4 people sleeping in my room, and then I wake up and like no one's there anymore because each parent just came and like grabbed their child when they're ready to leave, you know?
Yeah.
Anyways. So the dress arrived in time at the party, which is good, I guess. And then Maxim and Frank still don't know what she's doing. So, yeah. Yeah.
They're a little bit
Yep.
cruel to her, I thought.
Yeah. And
Like they went a little bit too far in the teasing.
Mm-hmm.
In my heart, anyways.
Which is why I think it added to the fact that like she was really thinking that like that Maxim thought she did it on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Like that didn't help at all.
No.
Has he met her? Obviously, she didn't do it on
I know.
purpose. Like,
I just think the lineup of events of her having that like secretive facial expression while she was thinking to like them being vindictive a little bit, and then like not vindictive, I guess they were just like teasing her really harshly, but then her coming out in that costume, just all that did not make a good picture.
No.
she was so confident.
I know.
It was like
she
the
was
first time.
She was so excited.
I know.
She probably looked smoking too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so then our main character is just like, you know, getting all excited. She's like, how about we all go to bed and then we can just like, you know, get ready for the party in the morning. And everyone's like, yeah, sure, let's do that. That's fine. And she's just like hype. She is very hype. So on her way to bed, she's looking at all these like decorations and everything they've got ready for the party. She's very excited because it looks super cute. And she's like, I kind of also wish they would have done a period ball because I think that would have been cute. And yeah, at least it would have been like a little less racist, I think, because
Hopefully.
Jeez, oh Pete, really bad.
So bad. We're Canadian, so when the Giles's costume, I instantly saw Trudeau. Like,
Oh my god, I know. Right.
Our prime minister, when he was young, he did like a full turban, blackface, Hindi thing, and during the election, it got blasted all over the place.
Yeah, it was very unfortunate.
Oh.
It was too bad. Yeah, that photo didn't age well, tell you what.
No.
Yeah. No. I don't understand the point, but maybe it's because I'm a Gen Z, and so like I really am just like, you don't have to paint on your face and also make a mockery when you're doing a costume.
Yeah,
Like,
you cannot.
you could not. There's
Yeah.
plus like what even there's nothing cute or creative about that at all. So
No.
No, I've been in parenting groups like for Halloween and whatever, and people are like, "Well, my daughter wants to be Moana, so should I put dark makeup on her?" I'm like, "No,
No.
obviously no." When other kids are being princesses, you don't see them like painting their faces white. Like, what is wrong with you?
Literally,
every year it comes up. And I'm
Yeah,
always
like how is this not common knowledge by now?
Yeah.
And
yet,
like, first off, one, body paint comes off so easily. Why would you even want to do that?
Right.
Like, I feel like people put that in comments because they want to start a fight about like a child, because like, one, children get into everything. Like, if you put makeup, like eyeliner or something on a child, it is all over everything.
Yeah.
Why would you want to put body paint on them?
No, don't do it.
No.
It's like you're like, hey, my kid wants to be an Oompa Loompa. Should I paint them orange? No.
No.
No. Not that there's anything wrong with painting your body orange, but it's an infant, and that seems like a terrible idea. What?
We are thinking about letting my 1.5-year-old be the Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, how am I going to do this? Because she got to be green.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. Maybe she'll be somebody who isn't the Hulk. But God, she'd be such a good Hulk.
She
You
would
could
be.
do like one of those full like onesies and then just not have green face.
That's true. Or I could do like, I don't know. She's so hulky.
Oh,
So we'll see. We're going to be the Avengers
that's cute.
this year. So we'll figure it out. But
So the day of the party, and our main character's getting ready, and she won't let anyone in, and she's super excited. I'm like, this is not gonna go well. It's not. And so she then makes the drummer announce her.
So bad.
And the worst part is they announce her not as her actual name, but as Caroline DeWinter, which is the cousin.
Yeah.
Ah!
It was
It's
so
so
awkward.
bad.
yeah.
So bad.
The only saving grace was that not everybody was there yet.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if she had waited until the party started to actually arrive?
Oh my
yeah.
God.
It's so bad. So
It's so bad.
as soon as the drummer announces, no one says a single word. No one claps. Beatrice makes a sound that sounds like crying. Like she like cries out. And then I was like, oh, Maxim is pissed. He comes up to her and he's like, you need to go change. And she's like, what did I do? Like, what's wrong? What happened? What did I do? And he's like, go up to your room, change into anything. Anything at all. He's like, go get out of this dress, get out of everything. And she's like, tears back, crying, and then happens to see Mrs. Danvers, who is smirking. And I was like, oh,
Obviously.
Don't you hate her?
The worst.
Like, what a crafty woman, though.
Yeah, she sucks.
Yeah. How is she not fired? I don't understand.
I will never understand. I would have fired her so many times.
Mm-hmm.
So many.
Of course, every time, like my husband is the boss where he works, and he says something like, fire him.
Yep.
I love the idea of firing everyone.
Mm-hmm.
To me, nobody would have jobs.
See, and I've never been a boss. So, like, anytime someone tells me about a minor inconvenience that happened at their work, I'm like, quit.
Yeah.
Like, one of my really good friends has been at like this terrible job for a couple years, and every time she texts me, like, even if it's not about the job, I'm like, leave your job, get out of there. And now like COVID's hit and they're paying like people in our industry way better, and I'm like, jump ship and set sail on something else, because it's time to quit your job.
Yeah.
I'm the toxic friend in my friend group. I know this about myself. It's fine. I'll be everyone's hype woman. If you're looking for a sign to quit your job, this is it. Anyways. Thank you all so much for listening to this episode of the Barely Bookish podcast. So, obviously, we don't have the best book club joining us here in the outro, but please be sure to check out their podcast. It's very good. Also, check out their book club because, best book club. But yeah, please be sure to check that out because they're very fun if you haven't been able to tell, as I really love having them on, and I think they're a delight. So please check them out and check out their podcast and go enjoy all that great stuff over there. But yeah, if you want to follow me, I'm at Barely Bookish on absolutely everything. I have a book club as well over on Discord. We just finished these Hollow Vows and are currently picking our next read, um, which I'm very excited about because it's on Discord. It's got a bunch of delightful people in it. But yeah, that's kind of all I've got. I don't really have any big announcements this week. We are probably going to have some holiday sales on the merch store, so keep an eye out for that. I'll try and announce those over on Instagram as well, so you will know when those are happening. But yeah, I will catch you guys later. Our theme song was created by Raphael Crux. Our logo was designed by my little sibling Sarah, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye!